I've just been having a look at my Hative de North shallots, and they've started to bulk up now. Now if you want any decent sized bulbs, you have to thin them down to 3 or 4, and that's what I've done here. These are the remains. So rather than these just go to waste, I've got a deep cell tray here, and I'm going to fill this with compost and just set them in there, put them somewhere cool and let them grow on, and hopefully I can use these as stock plants for next year. In an effort to be a little more efficient, last year when I decommissioned the chili wicking system that I built, I decided to wash the wicking mats here, put them in the washing machine, and disaster, they're delaminated. So that's a harsh lesson learned. I'm just about cutting some more, and I've just about got enough material for it. Well, we've got them all cut, and would you believe it, that's what was left over. There's 32 altogether, and then we're ready now to get the pot sorted. I've just lifted the net up on the Brassica Cage because I want to sow a couple of rows of swede in this empty space along here. And if you notice, the annual weeds are starting to pop up. I've just run the hole through there and then coming up quite easy. The space is appearing in here every minute. The way it's going, we should be cleared in the next day or two. Here I've got some Celeriac, my usual favourite, called Asterix. I'm going to plant these out in the bed, the other side to where I planted the parsnips. I think that might generate a little gap in the middle, and if it does, I can pop a few rows of swede in there. Just had one of those inspirational moments. Rather than sow the Celeriac first, I thought I'd put the swede in there, and then I haven't got to step over these to get to it. And by fortune or whatever, the marking board guy's got a lip on, so by popping it onto the surface, firming it in, it produces a natural straight line, and it can sow direct into the groove. Anything for an easy life. I've put 2 rows down, and there's probably about 15 inches gap between the 2 rows, which is plenty enough to flex the muscles. Conveniently, we've got 12 Celeriac plants, so we can easily do 2 rows of 6 using the marking board. That's another bed completed for the time being. I will give these a little watering in now because the sun's ready to come round. It looks as though we're in for another scorching day. I just noticed while I was planting the one at the end there that the potatoes are starting to encroach out of their space, so it might be a good time now to sort some barrier fencing around to contain them. And we managed to get the debris netting around the potatoes. It not only stops them encroaching onto the pavements but also into the other growing areas. The good thing about this and all, so it contains them, it still allows maximum light and airflow, so there's no restriction at all. I've got a couple of tanks here still empty, so I thought I'd put the last few onions in there. It's a mixture of tough ball and vento. There's no netting going on there, I'm just going to leave them as is and see how they go. One of the last few plants still in the allotment greenhouse is the outdoor tomatoes, and now I'm going to go in this bed. So I'm going to spend the next hour or 2 clearing this up and just removing the surface weeds. Well, good morning folks, and welcome back. We're in for another glorious day. Yesterday was fantastic. In fact, I made quite a rookie mistake. I came out here in the hot weather with a t-shirt on and no sun protection, and last night my arms were a little bit tingly, so hence today I've got a long sleeve on and some Factor 50. Never mind, today's plan is to get the tomatoes, the outdoor tomatoes, in position. I was up early this morning, give the beds a till over, get rid of any like little surface weeds, and I've also given them a good drenching of super soil. The tomatoes are actually outside in a little lean-to I've built, and they've been out there about 3 days, just hardening off. We'll go and have a look what we got. Here's the main tomato plants, and all these are Crimson Crush. I've got 1 or 2 other varieties knocking around in the other greenhouse, but I think just for the outside tomato bed I'm going to plant pure Crimson Crush, and there'll be 12 in total. This is the tomato bed, as I said earlier. I'll give this a watering with super soil. It's soaked in now, and there'll be 4 in a row and a total of 3 rows. As usual, I'll probably interplant with beetroot as well. These tomatoes have got a really nice root ball on, so I'm just opening the hole up here. Nice soft compost. And like all my tomatoes, I'll give the roots a mycorrhizal dusting. Say you can plant these deeper than normal, but I think these look just right. Put them in firmly and repeat for the next 11. And coming to the end of what's been quite a productive day. We've got the tomatoes in, and although the weather's been baking hot again today as the sun's dropped, got a bit of a cool breeze coming in, so I've just put this bit of debris netting around just to give them a bit of extra protection until they get settled in. Well, good morning folks, and welcome back. One of the jobs I've got planned for the next couple of days is to set up the auto wicking systems. Now I've got one in the greenhouse in the garden that I use just for the peppers. That was a self-build one, but down in the allotment greenhouse I've got the quad grows and the auto pots. Now in the bottom of each pot I like to use these expanded clay pebbles purely as a substrate, and then put the growing medium on the top. These are very dry at the moment, so to help them out I'm popping these into a bucket of water for soaking a couple of days, and then when we come to set the systems up, these are ready for action. This area here has really earned its keep. When the coal frame's been full, I've just used this as a temporary hardening off area, and as I say, really grateful for it. But now it's time to think about dismantling it, because this is where the runner beans are going to be. So I'm going to start doing that probably today. Might give it a bit of time lapse just to show you what I'm up to. One other thing I forgot to mention, I've invested in some of these plastic coated metal stakes. These are 2.4 metres long, and I've already got some of these which are 1.2 metres. I've had them quite a few years. They're not cheap. I think these work out about £3.50 each, but if they last as long as the other ones, I'll be quite happy with that. Anyway, I'm going to start building the frame now. That's the bed uncovered. There's probably needs a drop of water on there. It's gone a little bit dry. There's still plenty of nutrients. When I built this bed I put a load of horse manure on the bottom, so I know that it's probably moist underneath anyway. A wonderful sight of nature there. As I removed the covers, there was a ant's nest revealed, and the little chrysalis on the top, and as soon as the light come onto them, the ants came from everywhere and started carrying them off the ground. I lifted them up with a couple of shovelfuls and put them down by the tree. As you can probably hear, there's some construction work going on at one of the nearby houses, so I'll probably put you back onto time lapse for the rest of the stuff. Just putting the finishing touches now, connecting the poles to the crossbar. I'm to use cable ties, zip ties, because when I've used string in the past, the sparrows come and take them apart, use it for nesting material, and the poles them loose again. So no other option. I was looking around the back of the greenhouse and I found 3 half-filled compost bags. I looked inside. It was obviously something I put in there to store. I've used it to top dress the beds, and I must say I'm very pleased with it. It looks a treat. These are the pongo beans I had from Bill and Val. Originally I had 10, but unfortunately now there's only 5. So I'm going to start and plant them in the middle and just let them scramble along the bottom of the bed. These are the runner beans, and the regular favourite of mine called Benchmaster. There's quite a few in there, so I'll probably end up planting 2 per cane. As you can see, these root trainers here do put a good system out, air pruned at the bottom, so them are ready to go in. Well, I watered in. I've popped a few slug pellets down just to give them a bit of protection. I'd had to come in the morning and find half of them missing. But now they're ready to go now. Regarding actually protecting them, just like the tomatoes, I'm going to put something around the front. It could be a little bit of fleece or maybe even a couple of polycarp sheets or something, just to keep the chill off, because tonight it is forecast around about 7 or 8 degrees again, and now the sun's gone down. I can feel like a chilly wind arrived, so we'll give them a bit more protection and hopefully they'll be on their way. So I'm going to call it a day for this one. Many thanks for watching again. In the next one, we're nearly all done, and the big job for me at the moment now is setting up the auto wicks. So until next time, see you later. Bye for now.